Welcome to day 10 here on Toothmas, 12 Days of Toothmas. I felt the need to say Toothmas twice.
Toothmas. How you doing, Tyler?
I'm not too bad.
We missed yesterday.
Not too bad.
We missed one.
We did. We took a day off.
Took a day off, yes.
Why?
Well,
it was his birthday.
It was my
Happy birthday, pal.
big 4-0, pal.
How do your 40s feel so far?
Well, the fam sent me to a massage yesterday.
Ooh.
Thanks, fam.
Nice relax
it was
day.
a nice little day. Kids went on the Vancouver Christmas train the day before and out to Cordero's, downtown Vancouver.
Ooh,
That's
fancy.
a very nice place to grab a bite.
It's one of our favorite places to eat downtown.
Yeah.
Cardenas.
But a lot of my 30s decade.
Yes.
I
I remember having the same reflection period.
it's like it was more about just survival. My 30s.
Really?
I just survived, man. Yeah, like I was.
You didn't just survive.
Now, like, obviously I'm getting stuff together. Like, I appear that I'm doing.
You thrived.
Right.
You had 2 children. That's called thriving, my friend.
Yes, I know. I am blessed with. But yeah, it hasn't been all like sunshine and rainbows.
But if it was, would it be?
Shoveling. You're shoveling. I lost a sister, and I gained 2 beautiful children. Yeah, man, it's crazy. Life be crazy, y'all.
Is it true what they say? It starts to really speed up as we get older.
And I was having this conversation with somebody else, and the reason for that is just your awareness of things. Meaning, if you've experienced things already, if you experience them again, your mind just kind of goes on like auto drive with those things, right?
That's an interesting point.
So like when you wake up, you got a 9-to-5 gig, all those days become a blur. You do live the same.
It's like driving, I guess, right? So
Yeah.
My first time driving,
Yes.
I remember my first experience of driving a vehicle where I was like, okay, step on the gas, don't crash, stay inside the yellow line, stay inside the white line, okay, apply the brakes. Like you're going through every moment of that driving experience. Whereas I'm sure we've all done this where you're like, one day you're driving on the road and you realize, I don't remember the last 10 minutes of myself driving.
Yeah.
My mind just sort of wandered as I was on the freeway.
Yeah, totally.
That's not a good headspace to be in when you're driving, that's for sure.
No,
But it goes to your point is that when you've done something over and over, you're using a different part of your brain because your brain's I know how to do this already.
Yeah, your brain's, our development is to conserve as much energy as possible. So a lot of our functions are put into autopilot, right? Especially your brain uses so much energy. So the things that you've already experienced, your brain just kind of puts that memory back into play, and it, you're not experiencing it again, kind of.
I've never thought about that in terms of when people say, I always like to try new things.
Yeah.
Maybe there's some theory behind that if I'm constantly trying new things, I'm really kind of stretching out my existence on this planet.
Yeah.
Right? And making it more memorable and slowing life down a little bit. Yeah,
totally. And I love the old saying, like variety is the spice of life, and that's why I love to keep an open mind and listen to other people's stories and not be too strongly opinionated one way or the other. It's, I think, especially now with the amount of information that's thrown at us, especially, you gotta consider who it's coming from, obviously, but that everybody's got a spin on things and different perspective, and I want to continue doing that, listening to like all different types of music and food, and but yeah, like for me, my 30s where I felt like I was just surviving. Now, like I really in my 40s here, I want to maybe been a bit of a moody jerk, especially, especially the last, like I'm grieving, obviously. So I'm very open about that. And I have my own personal battle with anxiety and depression. So, there's that as well. So, as I move forward here, my 40s are going to be more about being a better Mark, being a better person to other people. And I've tried, but I'm not perfect. I'm human. And I've done the absolute best I can over the last 5 years. I'm tired.
And as someone who's been beside you, sort of observing your journey, I think you've come, for what you've gone through in the last few years, man. Like you've really come out of it, a stronger, way like 4-dimensional person. Like it's really cool to watch where you've, how far you've come in the last few years, just in terms of like even just this stuff, like with
Thanks, pal.
all the video and the cameras and everything and all the stuff that we've built in here. I mean, it's just so fun to watch you play with this stuff. Like, and I say at play because watching you build these videos and the show that we do and all this wonderful, the lights and the cameras and everything, the majority of that is you, man. And and you really are in your element when you do it. So my hat's off to you, man.
Ty, I wouldn't be in the position that I'm in right now. And that stuff was always there in me.
Right.
And I was just dying to, like, the last company I worked for, I was like, I think 3 or 4 months, quite literally, I was like, oh, guys, I got I got a good plan. I got a good idea. And they didn't hear me out. And now with this, it's such a beautiful thing. I feel like I can now blossom into myself, So, I'm looking forward to this decade and having some fun and
some great things to come.
And, the fact that we're giving back is super cool because I want to do more of that.
That's what's important to both of us, right?
Yeah, I want to help people. I want to be a better me, and I want to be a better friend and a better father. And there's the list goes on. So,
thank you.
Thank
you for the moment of reflection. That was
So that's
nice.
That's where I've been.
It's good to reflect, and I just you kind of taught me something there with thinking about experiencing new things and prolonging your experience of that. It opened my eyes and going, oh yeah, that's right. When your brain has already done something, you're not taking all the time you need to remember that exact experience.
Well, even if you've experienced something before, like you're, I don't know, watching my boy play with the car, like really be in that moment, right? Like you might have seen him do that.
Watching his discovery.
Say that like the funny things like, oh, fire truck or whatever he's saying about that car, but really be, I think that's the key too, is really be in the moment and not, we're so wound up in our day-to-day lives that, especially now, and I'm with you, everybody out there, like it's in BC, like we've been thrown into the into the bunkers again, if you will, right?
Here we go again.
Here we go again. So everybody's feeling it, and everybody's got an opinion on whether it's right or whether it's wrong, and everybody kind of has their own plan based upon that, right? Those variables, but it's abnormal. So time is going slower now, right?
It's like we're all dealing with this abnormal state of like, well, what's right now? This was my life pre-COVID. Now here I am almost 2 years into COVID. And you're like, well, when do we get back to normal? Yeah. Maybe the normal's never coming back. And like, there's all these different unknowns. Yeah. And now with these new restrictions that have come in, it's again, it's not the same. It's a new version of the restrictions. And it's like, well, why did you do this, but you didn't do that? It's easy to sort of point fingers and ask why things are done a certain way.
This country's doing one thing, this province, this state is doing something different. Like
I think everybody's just trying to figure it out.
Nobody knows. Like it seems like even the people, the experts, I know some very high qualified people in my life, and they're sort of confused too. So, I like to lean on the people that are in the know, the professionals, and it even seems like they're sort of handling things as it comes, if you will, right?
That's right, yeah.
And, in terms of how fast time is going right now, it's like, you know, when people say that, you know, when they're in an accident, it's like, it felt like it was forever. It was like 2 seconds.
But then sometimes it all happens so fast.
But it felt so slow, right? So it's, I feel like we're like spinning down the highway right now.
We're on the ice, the sheet of ice spinning down the highway.
And everybody's like, are we going to stop spinning already? This is like, I'm getting a little tired of this. I'm done. It's Christmas now too. And we get a little taste of like normality, and they're like, no, you know, the big Omicron's out. So, yeah.
Omicron.
And like, I'm not trying to sound insensitive, because I know a lot of people have suffered. A lot of businesses have suffered as well.
Yeah, it's been a tough time for a lot of people.
You know, I like over the last few days, it's been just a giant reflection.
Mm-hmm. So, well, thank you. And happy birthday again.
Thanks, pal. Yeah.
Gratitude.
Gratitude.
Talk about what we're grateful for today. We decided to reduce it down to 2 today as we get closer to the end of our 12 Days of Toothmas.
So, you know, we've been giving shout outs to our you know, our personal network and connections, and, you know, Tyler and I felt that let's take it a different direction, and
take a different spin on it today.
We could do that because we're trying to do something different every day.
We're always trying to try new things.
It's the variety of our spice of life, right?
So we make it memorable.
So I have been like the first. I'm gonna say my gratefulness thingy, and then Tyler's gonna say his gratefulness thingy.
Don't get so technical.
Yeah, I know. Right? Sorry.
We're gonna talk about this thing today.
I'm trying to be a better Mark here. I'm trying to like use the English language better.
That's right.
Anyways,
well done.
So my okay.
Jumping in.
How could we're jumping in.
Go.
Here we go.
Not to rush you.
I feel so
You
rushed.
rushed me last time.
I know, and you keep. Anyways, so I have been watching these guys. It is okay. It's really like, it's hard to like put words into how awesome this group is. Kurzgesagt, in a nutshell.
I can't stop watching them.
I know, like, okay, so these guys, in terms of a little background on them. So they make videos to explain stuff, and that stuff is, you know, based in science. It could be philosophical things. It could be, you know, your questioning of your consciousness, or, you know, how big is a star, and the way that they put that story together is like awesome. And I've really enjoyed, you know, every time I see they've got another video on, check them out on YouTube. Every time I see a new video coming up by them, it's like, oh, it's like a treat, you know? So
like I just clicked on the day the dinosaurs died.
Yeah, I think that's their latest one.
Minute by minute.
Yeah, so just the way that they lay out information, the way that they, you know, tell that story is, like, I find that highly effective, you know, like in telling a message. So, you know, professionally, you know, when we talk to dentists, I reflect on Kurzgesagt and how they tell their story to an audience that might not necessarily be rooted in science and know about that particular topic, but they tell it so beautifully.
Make it relatable.
Yeah, and they spend the time to do, you know, not everybody's perfect, right? Obviously, they have a community of people poking at them like, oh, that's not quite right.
Totally accurate.
Yeah, so they're very honest about that, but they really try and lean on the professionals in whatever field that they're covering. And it's been so cool. Like, I've learned so much from them over the years, and I think they're a small team. There's only like 12 of them.
Well, what I like about the way they do this stuff is that they make it so it's like in memorable bite-sized chunks, right?
Yeah.
So like we all kind of generally know how the dinosaurs died, but just the little nuances about it, like about the size of the meteor that hit the earth, how deep it went into the earth, and the explosion that it created, how many like megatons of nuclear weapons it would have equaled to like have a blast that big, and how it affected the earth, and like the ripple effect, and the fact that, you know, not people, but dinosaurs, I guess, on the other side of the earth felt it, and like just
it's cool,
you know, little pieces like that. And it's fairly cool basic animation, but it makes it like an encapsulated story in your head. Where you're like, okay, cool, I picked up a few cool tidbits about the day that dinosaurs died.
Yeah.
That I didn't know before, and it was entertaining.
Yeah, and like they tell it in such a reflective and perspective way that it really it helps your brain palette the information. So go and check them out if you haven't already. They're like huge on YouTube. Like if you're if you're a nerd like myself, you're probably already aware of them. But scroll through, they've probably got some topic that will jump out at you. Listen to this story and just get hooked. Like it's really cool. Like, so like whenever I see an episode come out by them, it's like, that's my favorite show. It's probably one of my favorite. It's been one of my favorite shows. And
really cool show.
Everybody's wondering like, well, everybody's watching YouTube. It's because there's some really good, talented and smart people making a lot of great content on YouTube, right? Yeah. So that's mine. Kurzgesagt in a nutshell. Very and cool. I probably destroyed it, but Kurzgesagt.
As in knocking it out of the park?
Kurzgesagt.
Yes. Knocked it out of the park.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate you. If you hear this, keep doing what you're doing. I bought some of your merch. Last year I bought a calendar. It's awesome. Anyways, cool.
Ty. Jumping right in. I mean, this guy does not need an introduction. Gary Vaynerchuck. I mean,
like, how do we do these? These guys are like,
how do you talk about Gary Vaynerchuck?
This Gary V, have you heard of him?
Yeah. Who hasn't heard of Gary Vaynerchuck? I mean, he is a force of nature, really. I mean, that's the only way to describe him. The reason we wanted to talk about Gary Vaynerchuck today and gratitude was because the reason we chose gratitude as our central theme for the 12 Days of Toothmas is because one day there I was on the treadmill listening to Gary Vaynerchuck, listening to his podcast, and he was like, gratitude. And he talked about gratitude. He spoke about gratitude for a good 15 minutes about talking about gratitude, what it is you're grateful for, making sure that your customers understand how grateful you are to have them in your world. Without our customers, without our viewers, without our audience, we wouldn't be here doing what we're doing. So thank you. We're so grateful, number one, for our viewers, for our audience, for anyone that engages in our content. We're super grateful to have you. Every comment counts. That's why we always say, put in the comments. We try to get back to everybody as much as we can.
Even though it's mostly just my mom.
Thanks, Mom.
Thanks, June.
Thanks for the comments, the thumbs up. But Gary Vaynerchuck talking about gratitude, it really sort of carried over into the 12 Days of Toothmas and talking about what we're grateful for, the companies, the people, the businesses, the influences that we have in our lives. Obviously, Gary Vaynerchuck being one of them. And I can't even say the name of those guys. Kurzgesagt?
Kurzgesagt.
There you go.
In a nutshell, Kurzgesagt.
Yeah, being an influence for us. So Gary Vaynerchuck, our good friend Michael Thorne introduced us to him. He introduced me to, not personally, but exposed me to his material.
I was going to say, wow.
Yeah, I don't know him personally.
Why have we not had dinner with this guy?
Michael told me about him years ago. He's like, you know what? If you're going to follow somebody, you should really be following Gary Vaynerchuck. I keep skipping a syllable there. Gary Vaynerchuck. Follow his content. So a lot of the stuff we do, we're spitting out a ton of content because, again, it's for a lot of the principles that he throws out there we're following. We're letting him mentor us with all the countless bits of content that he puts out there.
God, there's
educational.
So much that you can go to YouTube and if you're marketing out there, like a marketing professional, if you have you've probably already heard about him, but he's got some really great theories on modern day marketing, and one of them is engaging with your audience and knowing your audience, and who if you're not getting more people following you and whatever, it's not them, it's your content probably sucks. He's very blunt,
very honest about it.
Very honest about it. Yeah.
And it's that honesty that we're grateful for, that we're like, okay, yeah, there's something we're doing here that's not working. We're not resonating with somebody somewhere, which is, again, why we're constantly trying to change things up and see what works, because the environment's fluid. We're fluid. We're trying to make sure that we're sort of moving and adapting in a very rapid pace.
Yeah.
Excuse me. That, you know what? Hey, this thing really works over here. Let's do this and build off of it. Gary Vaynerchuck has had a huge influence on us in that area. Don't stay stagnant. Make sure you're engaging with your audience. When someone gives you a comment or gives you a like, always be responding. Make sure you're, showing gratitude to whoever's taking the time to look at your content and say, hey, you know what? Not bad. Or you suck. Or whatever they say to you. At least they're engaging with you to say, here's what, okay, great. You think I suck? Why?
Yeah.
Tell me why.
And the point of like, you're not just staring at it like a wall or a camera, like you're using that as a window to talk to people and recognizing that, and really embracing that and be willing to be wrong and keep moving forward.
And we don't know everything. Right?
No.
Dentists are relied upon to know a lot about dentistry.
Yes.
So obviously, like we said this before, if I'm a dentist, sometimes I'd be a little insecure about talking too much because I don't want to reveal that I might not know a lot about something. But that's human nature, right? There are some things we just don't know a lot about, whether it's marketing, content, social media, all this stuff, that we're really just kind of having an open dialogue with whoever is following us, whoever's engaging us, to say, you know what? We don't know everything.
Yeah.
We're kind of getting through this. We're creating a lot of content so that we can have a dialogue with our viewers. And we really appreciate feedback. And not to be like as head on as saying you suck or like being super judgmental. It's more like, you know what? That really didn't work for me and here's why. I would probably like to, I'd like to see you guys go more in this direction. Cool.
Yeah.
That's really insightful.
Yeah. It's at the end of the day, we're not doing this for ourselves. We're hopefully providing value, and it's all about human connection and stories and appreciation, and especially now having an empathetic mindset.
Yeah, you tell us a lot about empathy.
We just need to care about each other a little bit more. It's just
put some good stuff out
there.
There's
a lot of heat out there, and like it's not sissy caring, okay? It's not a weakness caring. It's put your damn guard down and like talk to the guy that you might not agree with, because he'll probably teach you something and you could probably teach him something. Like, get over yourself. Like, if I could say one thing, that would be it. Get over it. Get over yourself, right?
Yeah. A lot of us just getting over it, putting it out there.
Yeah.
And it's that gratitude. So today we're going to single out Gary Vaynerchuck.
I totally put you off the track there.
No, it was great. I was running out of steam, so that was perfect. Yeah. There's so much to talk about with Gary Vaynerchuck. I guess the value that we have, the value that I want to throw out there for you today is that if you're not following Gary, I jumped to the second syllable.
You do it.
Gary Vaynerchuck. If you're not following his content, do yourself a favor. Plug into a few of his podcasts. Check him out. He's talking on a lot of different topics. So, and the great thing is you can just scroll through his podcast, find one that you like, and a lot of it's really engaging.
And he's everywhere too. It's not hard. Like, he's not
hard to find.
He's not hiding.
He ain't hiding. He's pretty visual.
Yes.
Pretty visible.
Yeah.
I should say. So check him out. We're grateful to be influenced by him and continue to be. So thank you for all you do, Gary. We appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Yeah.
That's who I'm grateful for today.
Excellent. I think that's a good format.
I like that.
We should have done that in the beginning.
Well, it's kind of nice that we sprung it on day 10, because it was like, at some point we need to own up to the fact that it wasn't totally our idea.
And also...
And that's okay.
Three a day is like, we're just tired.
Well, we did 9 days.
Yes.
So we had 27 people.
Yeah.
27 companies that we've been, and we didn't want to dilute it too much. So we're like, okay, well, let's step it back a little bit and let's just change it up.
Right. Yeah. And that's what we did.
And that's day 10.
That is. Are we done?
We're done. Check out Kurzgesagt.
Check out Kurzgesagt.
Kurzgesagt. It's a fine wine.
It is. It's very
good. It's a
good.
Sweeter wine. I'm not really
it gives you brain energy when you.
No, what's the real name again?
Kurzgesagt.
Faustenstat.
I like really goof it up.
I can't say it.
But
Kurzgesagt.
Man, I really appreciate Kurzgesagt.
Kurzgesagt. It's not how it's spelled. Kurzgesagt.
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 Could one of your people reach out to us and give a? Well, they say it all the time. What do you call it? The narrator? Is it the narrator?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like Yeah.
He says it all the time.
His voice is like,
in a cool British accent.
I look for it. I don't know if it's British. What are you?
Whatever it's called.
Anyways, buddy, is that it? Day 10?
That's it.
Were you happy with that?
The post-birthday
and
the day before day 11.
My first day of my 40s, I'm going to become a better man each day. I'm going to take it one step at a time.
Should sign off with Better Man from Pearl Jam.
Better Man? Oh, yeah. She lies and says she's in love with you.
It's not
Can't
really
find a better man. Maybe not
the message we want today.
Maybe not so hot, but
gonna be a better man.
I'm gonna be.
But
yeah. Anyways,
that's not to say you're not an awesome dude.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like it's when you say I want to be a better man, it's like we all strive to be a better man, better person, better human.
Yes.
But
I'm just gonna keep trying.
It's always a good goal to go for.
I haven't been perfect. We'll see you on day.
You're a humanist.
I'm a humanist.
Tomorrow we'll talk about the difference between a humanist and a humanitarian.
Oh.
Stay tuned.
I can't wait. And we were supposed to do a competition, and we're going to do 3 words, right? So our first word is today. And our first...
I think I know what word it should be.
Kurzgesagt. Our first word of our competition is Kurzgesagt.
And if you spell it wrong, you don't win.
You're done. You're done. You're out.
So
you need to know the word of the day for day 10, 11, and 12.
Might want to screenshot that.
And the first person to
hurts my ears.
Send us the right words. Sorry.
Wow.
I got really into it there. I was just trying to be the best Mark. And my 40-year-old Mark. I didn't like 30-year-old
The best Mark that you can be.
Yeah. All right.
So our first word of the day is Kurzgesagt.
Thanks
for watching.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you on day 11.
Cheerio.
Merry Christmas.